Da, 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 da. All right. Well, welcome to the first of our summer series on Team BeneFIT calls. Today we have, I think, what's a great turnout for a first time changing times. You know what I mean? So I appreciate every single one of you making the effort to be on our call. And not only that for your own business, but also to support one of our own coaches, Ryan. And she is going to share with us this morning. Oh, I just got chills. It's so much fun having people that are on our own team seeing success. And that's just the best, you know, like we've had so many things to be thankful for this year with individual people as well as a team as a whole. And the sky's the limit, you know, like when we just stay plugged in and focused on our strengths is our sweet spot. So thank you, Ryan, for joining us. I so appreciate it. And I'm excited to get to know you better by having you on the call. And I just really want to thank you for paying it up and paying it sideways and forward to all of these coaches and investing your time and your heart with us today. So with that, I sort of shared on our team page just a snippet, but if you would introduce us and share with everybody kind of how you got rolling and what successes that you've had and where you're headed before you kind of dive in, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you again for having me. I'm really excited to be on this call and to meet some new people on the team. So I'll just kind of give you guys a little bit of my background. I'm 36 years old. I'm a mom to two little kids that are 3 and 5 and a wife as well. And I work part-time from home. So I do have a lot of flexibility with that. And that's been very helpful with my business. So I actually am an account manager for a couple different retail brands that sell to Amazon. So I manage their Amazon business basically. So it does keep me very busy, and luckily I have grandma close by to take the kids. But with that, I'm also now a 2-star diamond coach. I did not go to school for marketing. I went to school for apparel merchandising. So marketing is not my strong suit, and it's definitely not something that comes easy to me. I definitely have to work at that a lot. But how I kind of got started in all of this was very similar to a lot of stories. I was a challenger. Erin Young and I were sorority sisters in college. So that's how I knew Erin. And I've always loved working out. I've never been the greatest at nutrition. So my entire life I have been on a diet, I feel like. I grew up with overweight parents. My brother is overweight, and I'm still working on helping him right now. So I don't have a good history when it comes to healthy eating, and it's been a struggle for me. So back when I was 22 years old, and I actually posted about this on my like page the other day. I was living in Atlanta by myself, graduated college. I was probably 50 pounds overweight, and I finally kind of I had enough, and I joined Weight Watchers, even though to me Weight Watchers sounded like something that, you know, grandmas went to. It was not something for a 22-year-old. Well, fast forward 2 years and I lost 50 pounds. So it definitely helped, you know, start that process of being healthy again. And then I had my first child, and I gained about 80 pounds with him, gained a lot. And I lost all of it by doing CrossFit at the time. So this was kind of before I'd even knew anything about Beachbody, but my husband was doing CrossFit. So I did that with him. I did a paleo challenge. I lost all the weight. It was great. But second kid was a little different story. So second kid, again, I was determined I would not lose or not gain, you know, that weight again. And sure enough, I did. I gained about 70 pounds with her. And going to CrossFit was almost impossible because it was trying to get 2 kids out of the house, 2 kids into a CrossFit gym that has a daycare that's kind of like not a real daycare, but somebody's there watching your kids, but your kids can see you working out, which we all know does not work. So that just was not working for me. And I had dinner with Erin actually and a group of the other girls from the sorority house. And she kind of turned me on to what she was doing, what was working for her. And so I joined one of her free clean eating groups. And while I was a huge skeptic of any sort of supplement, I mean, we'd had people coming to my husband is very fit and very into CrossFit. And so he has people approaching him about Advocare all the time, people approaching him about all sorts of things. And he and I both were just not supplement people. We just didn't believe in it, right? But I started seeing a lot of people in her group having success with Shakeology. and I was kind of desperate. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to give it a try for a month. She told me about the guarantee on it. I was going to give it a try, and I was hooked after I tried it for the first time. I was one of those people that actually did love it from the first time I had it, and I haven't stopped in 3 years. So basically, that's kind of where I started. I started with Turbo Fire, my favorite workout still of all time, and I decided to go ahead and get the discount with T25 because I was like, well, I might as well get the discount. I'm paying for it, right? And she explained everything all to me very well. So anyway, I did that, but I had zero desire to work the business at all. I didn't like MLMs. I didn't want to sell to my friends because I've been sold to in the past, all of that kind of thing. But it started to change a little bit because I was getting results and people were seeing that and they were asking me, and I was referring everybody to Erin. So I was giving Erin all this business and not really realizing that, hey, I could actually be covering my cost of Shakeology, or I could, this could be a potential for me. I just didn't see it. So that's when I was like, well, okay, my best friend was wanting to sign up as a coach, and she was, already enjoying it. So I signed her up as a coach with me, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. I never really intended to start my own challenge group, but Erin pushed me to do that too. I think she kind of knows when to push me and when to not push me, and that was when I needed it. So I started a challenge group with maybe 3 people in the challenge group at the most, 3 or 4 people. And it's grown from there, and now I run challenge groups almost, every single month, multiple groups sometimes. So that's kind of where I started. I really, like I said, I had no intention of growing a business. I really didn't think about, dreaming big. I didn't think that this was something that could be, you always hear about all those people that make millions at this, but that's probably not real, or, they're not taking real free trips, with their companies. And then sure enough, I just took my free trip, earlier this year. So it actually is real, and it is for everyone if you put in the work for it. So that's kind of where I started.
Okay, sorry, I was muted. So you've been a coach for 3 years? Is that?
Coach for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were a challenger for maybe 6 months-ish?
Yep. I was a challenger for about 6 months. I went through the entire Turbo Fire program, which I think is like a 20-week program, before I signed up with T25. I wanted to finish it out. So, yeah.
Nice. And then so what you sort of referred to how you got started. Where do you see yourself going now? How has your vision changed from when you started as discount to now you're like, okay, putting the pieces together?
Yeah, I mean, I think it has to do with plugging into, like the national wake-up calls. I started doing that right away, and started hearing all of these success stories, and then I started following those people that I was hearing on Facebook. And on top of that, just seeing, you and Erin and Julie and all of our upline coaches doing extremely well. And these are people that we see on a daily basis. I think all of those things kind of started to make it real for me, and that it is a possibility for me. I still struggle, and I think, we probably all do, seeing myself as a leader. And I'm working on that. Personal development helps a ton when it comes to that kind of thing. But I've also had people come and tell me that they're looking to me. So I think that it's starting to become more of a natural thing. So from now on, I mean, the sky's the limit. One thing that I do that I think other people, some people do, some people don't do, is that I don't put huge pressures on myself to be a 15-star diamond by the end of the year or whatever it is. Because I don't, it's not that I'm afraid of failing, but it's that I don't want to put that pressure on myself, because then I'm kind of losing what the whole point of being a Beachbody coach is. And we can easily get caught up in that. I feel like, you see all of the recognition is great. And I think one thing that I found myself doing, I found other people doing, is the comparison game. And so when you do that, then you start forgetting about why we're actually doing what we're doing. And I really try to kind of keep it simple, go back to, especially when times get tough. I mean, we all have months where we struggle, or, you get people, canceling their Shakeology or canceling their coaching, and you're just like, why am I doing this, and all that kind of thing. And honestly, stuff has happened to me in the last couple of weeks too. I mean, it happens. But then you wake up another morning and you see a post from somebody that says, hey, I just lost 7 pounds in this round of 21 Day Fix. I love it. I feel great. I'm going to, I'm going to look great this summer, and I feel so much more confident. And then that's why we're doing, it kind of brings you back down to why we're doing what we're doing. And you forget about all of those rank advancements, and you forget about all of those, parties that you do or don't get invited to, whatever it is. None of that stuff really matters. It's really, truly all about the people that we're helping. So for me, I say the sky's the limit. I'm not putting any expectations on myself. I would like to be, an elite team. Hopefully by the end of this year, I would like to be, but at that point, I'm not going to worry if I'm not, as long as I'm helping my coaches grow and I'm helping other people, get the results that they're looking for. So
that's awesome. Awesome. There was something I was going to say associated with that, and now it's completely gone. So yeah, that's great. And the thing is, we've been talking quite a bit about this just on our own little threads and that kind of thing. And how, can you tell me, I'm always curious about this, how you know your leaders? Like, how did you meet your leaders on your team?
I really only have like a good handful of people that are honestly, truly working the business and have big goals with it. But with that, it's really those people that continue to interact with me almost every single day. Those are the people that have become my big leaders. So one of my leaders is Kara Heckerman, and she is a phenomenal coach to follow. She writes extremely well. She joined with me when she was 27 weeks pregnant, and didn't even really know what she was doing, but she just felt that it was something that she needed to be doing. That girl is amazing. I mean, she works her butt off. She continued to always ask me questions. She was always trying to reach out to me as far as getting together so that we could, strategize. I mean, she pushed me almost as much as I pushed her, if not more sometimes, because she was always constantly interacting with me. So I feel like those are the people that you have to give your attention to. Mm-hmm. So she's one of them. My best friend is actually one of them, but she's a different one in that she never really plans, at least now, to make this a full-time job, but she's really enjoying the community, and she's enjoying helping people, and that's kind of it for her. But so she's had a longer process to hitting diamond, but she's there. So she hit it, and she always wants to talk about, how she can help other people or new challenge group ideas or things like that. So again, she's somebody to work with because she's coming to me, and it's like working with the willing, she's coming to me. So I'm going to invest in her. I'm going to spend time with her. I'm going to meet with her. I'm going to do all those things. I've got another coach that's very close to hitting diamond actually right now. Her name's Lisa Luma. And she, again, is the same way. She's on every single team call. Like, if I don't ever have to worry about having crickets show up at a call sometimes, because I know Lisa Luma will always be there. And it could be the same thing that we talk about every single week. I'm trying to almost 3 weeks out of the month have a team power hour, just so that new coaches can feel comfortable with it, and that sort of thing. And Lisa Luma is every single week on that call. She's on every Fit Fighter Nation call. She's on every call that she could possibly get on. So she's, again, somebody I'm going to give my time to. Anybody that reaches out to me and says, I want to make this work, that's the person I'm going to spend time with. I will reach out to every new coach that I'm working with, or new coach that signs up, even if they're a discount coach, and just let them know about the opportunities and kind of find out what their goals are. And then from there, I'll, kind of gauge who I need to be spending my time with. But right now, those are, I would say, my top 3 that I'm giving a lot of time and attention to. And I have a few others that are starting and that sort of thing. But, it is really all about putting more of your time and energy in those people that are giving you a lot of time and energy back. Mm-hmm. So
cool.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You're going to say something.
Well, I was going to say, I did have a few points that I was going to kind of go over too, as far as kind of things that I've been through. And I think that kind of set me apart from some other coaches that I've seen. And the funny thing is we just had a call this morning with Arnaud Nakaha, and he kind of talked about a lot of the stuff, which I thought was really interesting. But the one thing that I feel like I give to our coaches and my team is consistency and a never giving up attitude. And I feel like that is the one thing that no matter how hard times get, because they are going to be hard, 1 month you're going to have a great month. The next month it's going to be crickets from everybody and you're not going to hear anything. And you're going to be like, okay, Dad, who can I, call last minute to get a challenge pack ordered, right? To hit Success Club. It's going to happen. But if you stay consistent with a few of these things that I'm going to talk about, it's going to happen over time. And that's the thing. Like I said, I've been doing this for almost 3 years, 2.5 years coaching. And I'm just now, hitting Star Diamond different statuses. And those are still shaky too. I mean, I'm losing some, gaining some. I mean, it's back and forth and it's going to happen. And it can feel defeating a lot of times because you're going to see other people that are rising ranks, but you also don't know what it took for them to get to where they're at. So that's why we really cannot do that whole comparison game. So anyway, my kind of no matter what that I always do, even when times are tough, even when I'm feeling defeated, even when I'm like, okay, I'm ready to give up, I post daily on my like page. I started a like page pretty early on in my career as a coach, because for me, and I know there are a lot of different schools of thought on this, I really wanted to have a page where people came to me because they wanted to hear what I had to say about family, fitness, fun, that kind of thing. I didn't want to be putting that all out onto my personal page. My personal page, I still, for the most part, is family and, pictures of my kids or things that are going on personally. I mean, I am tagged in a lot of Beachbody things, but that's totally fine. But my like page is where I post everything, and I consistently post in that like page at least 3 times a day, if not more. So no matter what, I'm always in front of somebody, and no matter what, I'm trying to grow that like page. So I'm, promoting it, I'm adding, to it, that sort of thing. I'm always growing my like page. And another no matter what I always do is I'm always connecting with my challengers, whether we're in a challenge group or not, because I do take a week off at the end of the month to kind of, recenter, reprep for a new challenge group, that sort of thing. So even on that off week, I'm still connecting with my challengers, seeing how they're doing, always checking in daily with them. And I'm not saying I'm like consistent. There are nights when I fall asleep with my kids in bed and I don't get to check Facebook at night. And we all know that. We all know we're moms, we're busy, things like that happen. But I do make sure to connect with everybody as much as possible. And again, I do all the vital behaviors. I drink my shake every single day. I work out 6 days a week, and I post about it. So staying consistent, I feel like with those 3 things, even when things are really tough, even when, you feel like giving up, that's what's going to keep you going. That's what's going to hold you through to those times when things are great and you get more momentum and you get more excitement. So that's definitely, something to keep in mind. And I kind of talked about this as well. I have this as a note, but we talked about this already. As far as pushing through tough times comparison, I really, and I did it in the beginning. I think we all do it at times, but if you can stop the whole comparison game, and instead of comparing yourself or seeing other people that are, having these huge rank advancements or that are adding coaches all the time or whatever, instead of taking that in as though you're not good enough, what I like to suggest to people to do is to raise those people up. Like, go out there every time you see somebody add a new coach to your network, congrats to those people and welcome to the team. Or anytime you see somebody rank advance, you're sending congratulations messages to them. Because I feel like the more positivity you put out into the universe, obviously the more positivity is going to come back to you. So instead of comparing yourself and feeling negative about some of those things that you're seeing, you put positivity back out there and it will come back around to you. So, and just know that this too shall pass during tough times. Like I said, it's ebbs and flows. I know May was a very difficult month for some people. We saw a lot lower SC points on all of our team boards. But that doesn't mean that you should stop. I mean, you still, even if you helped one person in May, that one person needs you. So that's why I'm like, you still have to keep going. You still have to keep that momentum. And then a book that I've read that I feel like is very helpful is The Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster. It's a good one. And I think that just the more that you understand that this is what happens as an entrepreneur, every entrepreneur out there, it doesn't matter if you're, running a restaurant or starting, a boutique or whatever it is, there are going to be tough times and there are going to be great times. And those great times will hopefully eventually outweigh all of the tough times and it'll be all worth it. The other thing that I feel like is really huge, and I say this to my team a lot, and it came actually from a call that Shalene Johnson did on some big group that I was on, but she talked about this, and she basically just said, don't quit. It doesn't matter what you do, don't quit. You can take a break, you can take a hiatus, you can, just give it a rest for a little bit, whatever, but do not quit. For multiple reasons, but you joined Team Beachbody for a reason. You decided to coach. You decided to help others for a reason. And sometimes we kind of fall away from that reason and we forget about it. And we just have to kind of take a break from it, but never quit, never give up on those people, never give up on your goals, constantly push yourself, use personal development. I mean, like I said, I've had, a rough couple weeks with some coaches quitting, other things happening, whatever it is. But you know what? I had a little bit of personal development this morning and my attitude just completely changed. So always, always, always use personal development wherever you can find it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a book. And then the other thing, I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes here, that I wanted to mention too is that don't think that you have to be a good coach or to be a star diamond coach that you have to do it all. I think this is the other thing is that we see somebody over here has this amazing website and somebody over here is leading their own team sneak peek and somebody over here is, got their whole 14-day new coach boot camp all set up, blah, blah, blah. That's one thing that I've struggled with because I'm like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do this. You don't have to do it all. Pick like one thing that you're going to do and just focus on that. Because I haven't run my own team sneak peek yet. I know that might sound like crazy that, I'm a 2-star diamond. I haven't run one, but I haven't. I just don't have time for it. I will eventually have one, but right now I'm just focusing on growing some coaches that really need me. So you have to put your time into what your team needs. But don't think that you have to be doing all this other stuff. I started a website and it was great and I haven't had time to manage it. So I'll get back to it one of these days, but it's one of those things where you have to put your time and energy into the people that need you the most and that are wanting your help the most. Another thing that I was going to talk about too that I feel like has changed with me a lot and has helped my business grow is that in the beginning, I was kind of not ashamed of Beachbody, but, I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm a Beachbody coach and I'm going to, wear all this apparel and I'm going to take my shaker cup with me everywhere and I'm going to put it in people's faces everywhere. That wasn't me. I was kind of afraid to do that a little bit. And things have slowly evolved where honestly, I don't care anymore. I don't care what people think. I'm constantly wearing my, tank tops that have something on them, or I've got my Shakeology phone cover. So I'm, this is everywhere. I take it into the CrossFit gym when I'm taking my son to CrossFit Kids. And I know CrossFit people are kind of like, still a little iffy when it comes to Beachbody products. I'm still working on those guys, but, so that's one thing. Don't be ashamed of it. I mean, you're doing this, it's helping you, right? It's helping you. So why not put it out there and tell other people that it's helping you? And you never know what's going through somebody else's mind. At that time, you could be at, like, I go to practices or whatever. Actually, I have a new challenger from gymnastics because I was carrying my Shakeology cup and she was, asked me about it. So you never know what people are thinking and what kind of stage of life they're in, and if they're needing some help, and they might feel more comfortable reaching out to a stranger than they do reaching out to, a close friend. So keep those things out with you. Don't be ashamed of them. Just put it out there. So basically my 3 main things that I want to share with everybody that I want you to understand is very key in creating a big and a long-term business is consistency, understanding that there's ups and downs and things are going to be, and for everybody, the top coaches, Erin, Julie, all of those people have had ups and downs. We all have ups and downs. It's going to happen. Reach out to those people when you feel that you're not going in the right direction. Things aren't happening. What can you do to get better? What can you do to grow? And just never quit. Never give up on yourself. Never give up on the dreams that you have. Never give up on the people that are looking up to you. And things will just eventually start to grow.
Awesome. There was so much in there, like so many good takeaways. One of the things that I heard you say, and it came up a couple different times. One was when you mentioned that Erin shared what was working for her, and then you referred in some other context you sharing what was working for you. And I think that's just a key thing that sometimes we overlook, where all we're doing, we're just sharing what's working for us.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't want to do it, then that's up to them. Exactly. We're just going to share what's working for us. And that is inviting, like sometimes we make such a big deal out of it, but all it is sharing what's working for us.
Yep.
And that's it, So I think that's huge.
My cousin actually messaged me, and she just purchased a challenge pack yesterday because she's like, Ryan, your arms look so good. How did you do that? And so I'm like, 21 Day Fix Extreme, all those lifting weights and hammered, you know what I mean? So, and now she's bought it because she wants to feel better about herself. So it's all about just sharing, putting pictures of yourself out there, sharing your transformations. People will be inspired by that.
It just came to me on Wednesdays, for some reason, we always have, we've got Transformation Tuesday, we've got Throwback Thursday, whatever. Sorry, my kids are really loud right now.
Okay.
We've got, what about what's working for me Wednesday?
I like that.
All you would have to do is to share, and it doesn't even have to be your workout or your Shakeology, but you could incorporate that on a different Wednesday, but what's working for me Wednesday? And that's a tip. That's adding value to other people, and that might be a really fun, great way to.
I like that. That's
story.
Awesome. Yeah.
The other piece that I wrote down that I wanted to give you props on is starting a challenge group. And that was sort of like a fly, baby, fly, time for you, but you did it anyway. And it sounds like that has become a key component. I was thinking this morning about some of the successful people on our team that I see, and they're actively every single day, they're involved in a challenge group, whether it's their own or whether, theirs is too small and it's in their upline, because I was there for like forever.
Yeah.
But fostering the challenge group relationship.
And I even have
you to make your challenge groups, like fun or engaging, or how do you do those?
So I started, again, it's, what was working for Erin, I've started to incorporate into mine, but are the rock star challengers every week and putting their picture up on the Facebook cover. For me, that is, so for an example, I was in, I wanted to be a challenger again too, and Erin kind of created a whole group of just the coaches challenge group, like last month, I think it was. And after the first week, I had posted pretty regularly, but I know I missed a couple days. Well, the first week she put everybody's picture up that was a consistent poster, and I wasn't up there, and I was like, darn it, I'm going to be up there next week, right? It was a motivator for me, even though I get nothing out of it except for my picture up on a Facebook cover, but I wanted to be there. So I made sure that I was, posting every single day. And I was like, this is if it works for me, it might work for other people too, right? So I started doing that in my challenge groups, and I love it. I think that's fun. It keeps things interesting. I did a summer shorts shape up group in, what was that, May? I guess it was April, I think. Just kind of getting ready for summer, getting ready for wearing shorts. And the winner at the end, for posting every single day, for sharing sweaty selfies and multitude of other things, got a pair of shorts. Actually, I just gave her a gift card to Athleta so that she could pick out her own pair of shorts. But, little incentives I think really help as well. And I try and do little mini challenges here and there. I don't do it every single day because I think it's too much. But everybody does have to post every single day, and they all already know what they're posting and that sort of thing. But doing mini challenges, doing every once in a while I'll do a little mini extra 5-minute workout, and I'll challenge them to do that and to post a picture of themselves doing it or something like that. So we do little mini challenges like that, but I do think that I highly suggest doing a little Rockstar Challenge or Facebook cover in your group has been very effective for me lately too, because you get more people involved. People start feeling less worried about sharing their sweaty selfies. I have a lot of new challengers that are very cautious about it. I've even had a couple say, "Are you sure this is private? Nobody else is going to see this, right?" Yeah, I'm like, "I promise. It's a secret group. Nobody will see it." So it does get people more involved when you do something like that. And it doesn't cost any money.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love the shorts idea. I may have to do that. This last month was the first time I had listened to an Anita Myron training, and I love her. And she gives away, I think she pretty much does the same every time, but with some kind of tennis shoes. And so I had picked out just a fun pair of Nikes. And so I've got girls that are like throwing down the gauntlet doing to try
That's awesome.
Nike tennis shoes, but they are becoming
steal that for the summer too.
coaches. Those will become, it weeds out completely, you seeing who's willing to work for something.
Exactly.
You know who your best coach prospects are going to be.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say, that eventually those people are going to become great coaches. And no, I completely agree. Yep. That's a great idea.
Kelly Carr, I can't tell if your phone accidentally raised its hand or if you actually saying something.
I did. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I was wondering, are you using the new app? Because you keep talking about the Facebook cover for your challengers.
You know what? I have not used, I take that back. I did use the app for my coaches. I kind of wanted to play around with it. So I did just a coach only challenge group. And it worked well, but I still lean towards Facebook. It's just easier for people in general. It's not something new for them to learn, and not that it's hard to learn. It's not a hard app to learn at all. But I feel like there's just more it's a little bit more personal when you have a Facebook group. So for right now, I'm sticking with Facebook because that's what's working for me the best.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not getting some engagement.
Yeah.
My challengers were before on Facebook I was.
Yeah.
I went through that too, where I completely switched over to the app and ran a couple groups and felt like the engagement went way down, but yet I was seeing them get better results because I was keeping track of them better.
Yep.
It was sort of a mixed bag, and I was like,
yes.
I don't know what to do. Now this month, I clearly instructed challengers to get on the app and log their workout and their shake every day, but all engagement was going to take place on the Facebook group.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And I've got maybe 2 scheduled posts that go into the app. So because I will say there's a handful of people who are not Facebook people and they don't like Facebook. They don't want to get on Facebook, but they're plugging into the app. And so at least they're getting a little bit of value each day from those scheduled posts. So I feel like for me, I've hit a sweet spot where the people who really want to dig in and have that community, they're on Facebook for sure. Yeah. But everybody is logging on the app.
I like that idea of kind of using a hybrid between the two, because I do think that you are going to get better results when you have to put that. I mean, it's just like MyFitnessPal or something else that you're having to actually, log your stuff in, and you have somebody actually looking at it and checking it every day. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. For me, most of it was selfish because I really can't keep track of my challengers on Facebook like that. Yeah. For my personality, I struggle with that so bad, but to have that participant page where I can see exactly what they've done and shoot them a message straight from there, like that's gold for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing I'm thinking is I could easily put on there on the app, instead of having the regular image, each week I could put a recognition image for who's logged the most.
Yes.
And have that up.
Kind of like as your rock star challenger for the
my
week.
rock star challenger of the week on there, just according to the app. Maybe it's something different, maybe it's a different image for the Facebook group versus the app, and that's okay too, because you might be pulling different people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So that might be fun. Any other questions, you guys? Such great.
Who's going to be at Summit this year? Anybody coming to Summit?
A lot of us.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll be there.
Do you have a good number from your team that are coming this year?
Yeah, we've got 4 of my coaches that are coming. Yeah. 2 wanted to come and then they lost. 2 of my coaches are sisters, actually. And they were both trying to get their mom to watch their kids, and it's not. So now they can't go.
That totally backfired.
Yeah, it totally did. So anyway, 2 of them can't make it that have tickets and are really bummed, but 4 others will be there. So, and my husband's coming, I think. So that'll be fun too.
Good. Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Now, just so that you guys will know, Ryan is actually on our team page. So if you have any follow-up questions or thoughts or whatever, you're welcome to tag her. And make sure to follow her on her like page or whatever. And we will all continue to cheer each other on.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, Traci. It was really nice.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. It's just amazing having other coaches. And one real quick thing that it did cross my mind and I had forgotten before was when you were just talking about doing things when it's hard and how we are looked at. I was telling my brand new coaches in a group this morning that no matter what, even if they're not getting likes, even if they're not getting responses to messages, those are people that are now looking at us. We are on their radar, and they may be even coaches on other people's teams. We have no idea the impact that we're making on other people by staying consistent. And a lot of times it doesn't come back to benefit us. I had somebody message yesterday to say, hey, you know what? Thanks for all of your inspiration over these last 6 months. I just found out my friend is joining as a Team Beachbody coach, and I'm going to switch to her team. But thanks so much. You've really made a great difference in my life. I'm like, well, I appreciate that, And so whether she stays or whether she decides to quit and wait 6 months and join her friend's team, that's not up to me. But regardless of what our rank says, regardless of what parties we attend, you hit the nail on the head, is that we're making a difference in the lives of other people, and that's what it's all about. So thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You guys have a great day.
You too. I'll talk to you later. Thanks, everybody, for joining.
Bye. Thank you.